So this is the Lenovo Yoga Book 9i, and it's probably one of the craziest laptops that I've reviewed on the channel in a very long time. And when this was first announced back in January 2023, it got a lot of hype. Like every single media outlet was calling this the craziest laptop they've ever seen. And they have the right to do so. It's such a cool concept and idea. Now, I've been using it for the past couple of weeks, and I still think it's a great piece of kit to put in your workflow, but I don't think it's for everybody. So I want to give you guys more of a realistic perspective because maybe this form factor might not work for you. Now, I'll be honest, this is a very beautiful laptop. It only weighs 3.15 pounds. The entire body is aluminum. It's CNC aluminum. It feels super comfortable in the hand. I really dig this blue color, especially the sides. Like, it's been rounded off like the regular 9i to have these like shiny, smooth blue edges that have a different hue to it. And then when you have it in the hand, it just feels so comfortable to hold. The back is actually a sound bar, so no matter what position the laptop is in, the sound is always facing you. When you buy this, you get a lot of stuff in the box. You get the laptop itself, you get this case, or not case rather, but stand that allows you to prop up the laptop so you can see both displays at the exact same time. You get a Bluetooth keyboard, and of course, the last thing you get is a stylus with 4,096 levels of pressure. Now, when you include the actual 65-watt power brick, that'll add a little bit more weight, but the overall package is still fairly light. Now, here's the thing where people might not like this is a portable thing, right? And with a regular traditional laptop, like when you take it out of your bag, all you gotta do is open up the display and you're working, okay? With the Book 9i, it's a bit different. Like, you can use it as a traditional laptop. The keyboard itself will pop up if you tap the display with 4 fingers, and then you can use the virtual keyboard to type on. But I'm so glad they actually included a Bluetooth keyboard because this is so much better. So what happens is when you place the Bluetooth keyboard on top of the bottom, it basically turns the lower portion into a touchpad. Then you can use the actual keyboard to type on. Now, this keyboard is so much better to use. It feels like a proper laptop keyboard. Like, don't get me wrong, the keys are a little bit mushy, but overall, I don't have any complaints how it feels. The Bluetooth automatically connects, and then of course, you can use the touchpad on the bottom to go ahead and load something up, and then there you go, you're typing automatically. Like, it just works perfectly. When you take off the keyboard, you get the bottom display back, and then you get the full 2 displays to work with. The virtual touchpad, though, is actually really good. Like, it works very well. Like, it tracks my fingers perfectly. There's not too many false touches. Not as good as a regular touchpad, like on a traditional laptop, but it's really darn close. Now, if you don't want to use it in this form factor, like a traditional laptop, you can actually use the stand. So basically, when you take the stand out, it's flat. The back portion snaps on together using magnets, and then it can sit on your desk like this. And then what happens is you can take the 2 displays and then rest it on it. And what you get is a 2 display on top of each other way of working with your laptop. This little pen actually goes in the slot on the back so you don't lose it. But if you're using the pen and you don't want to place it back here because it can be kind of annoying to get to, this part up here is not officially a magnet for it, but it's strong enough that it will hold the pen while you're working. I wouldn't leave it there if you're like walking around a room or at your office because it probably will fall off. Now, you don't have to use it like this, right? Like, if you use it like this, what you do is you can attach the keyboard over here. The bottom portion is magnets as well, so it stays, or you can leave it loose and it will still work. And then what I would do is get a external mouse and connect it to the laptop. Now, it says a Bluetooth mouse comes in the box on the website, but my unit did not come with a Bluetooth mouse. But if it does, you basically have the entire setup ready to go. Now, there's no special version of Windows being created for this. Like, this is your regular Windows 11, but Lenovo has incorporated a lot of gestures for this laptop. For example, if I tap the bottom of the display with 3 fingers, a virtual trackpad pops up and I can go ahead and start moving it around. Like, it works great. I don't have to use it in one position. If I want, I can drag it over here to the corner it doesn't matter. Like I have complete flexibility. Now you can't drag it up to the top screen because the haptics are in the bottom screen. So every time you press on the trackpad or use one of the buttons on it, it's going to give you feedback. It's not as strong as, let's say, the iPhone 14 Pro haptics, but it's strong enough to give you an indication that you're pressing on something. The other thing to note is you can use 8 fingers if you want to bring up your virtual keyboard. Again, the typing experience on this, not the best, right? Like it's fine if I have to do a quick note. This is a test to show you how the virtual keyboard works. I'm making lots of mistakes. Like you can kind of get used to it, but it's never going to be using a physical keyboard like the one they include in the box. When you're done using it, or let's say for example, it's up here and you put the physical one on here, the virtual keyboard goes away. So you can use that automatically. And if you have this on here, for example, and you use some of the functions at the top, like if I hit function, this guy right here, it's gonna bring me up some personal shortcuts. Like I have Microsoft News over here. If I want, I can log into Outlook. And then as soon as I take it off, that all goes away. The other thing you can do is extend the browser to use both displays as one. So if I take 5 fingers, drag from the top to the bottom, it's going to extend the browser or whatever window you have open and utilize both displays. Now, whenever I touch on it, I'm scrolling up and down. So if you want to have I don't know, a big newspaper, what is this, 1960? If you want to have a big article open, you can totally take advantage of using this as one big display. To get rid of it and go back to the normal use case, you just put your 5 fingers back up, drag to the top, and it's automatically gone. But there's tons of other things you can do. Like for example, this pen, okay, it has a couple of tricks too. For example, if I swipe from the bottom left, it's going to take a screenshot. If I swipe from the bottom right, it's going to bring up Lenovo's SmartPad, and then I can automatically go ahead and start taking notes. Now, one of you guys on TikTok asked me how the pen experience is on this laptop. And look, I don't think it's the best pen for drawing, but it feels really good to take notes. And because this is a convertible, you can flip the display 360 degrees and only use one display if you really want to, or you can put it in tent mode if you strictly just want to watch one piece of content, or of course you can lie it flat on the table if you're drawing. Now look, it's a different idea, right? And I think with all these different accessories that they include, it's gonna work for a lot of people. Like the other day I was doing my taxes, so I had QuickBooks open on the top and I had my statements on the screen below, and it just allowed me to enter my expenses and invoices and reconcile much easier because I didn't have to put the stuff beside each other or go back and forth to input information. You don't have to use it like this. Like you could actually use the stand and have both displays in portrait mode. Like you don't have to use it in vertical mode. This might be more handy if you're reading something or working on an actual document. Now there's not a lot of ports to be utilized with this guy. You have one Thunderbolt 4 port on the left-hand side that also charges the laptop. Yes, you can hook up an external GPU to this if you really want to. And then on the right-hand side, you have another 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports. So all Type-C. There's no other ports on this laptop except for this little camera switch, which is actually not a port. This will basically turn the camera on and off so that, you have privacy, and then you have a power button. The only downfall to this setup is that there's no audio jack. You gotta use Bluetooth headphones or a Type-C adapter. Also, if the lock screen is on and you just need to take a quick note, it has the same feature that a Galaxy Note has where you can just write on the display immediately. So if you need to take something down quickly, doesn't matter if the lock screen's on, you just pull out the pen, start drawing on the bottom, and you can take notes right away. Now, one of the highlights of this laptop is the fact that both of these displays are OLED. 2.8K, 60 Hertz, amazing color gamut, really good color accuracy. Screen brightness is almost identical. I measure the top at 360 nits of brightness and the bottom at 352, so pretty close, and you can't tell the difference with your eye. Yes, there's a little bit of PWM flicker under 50%, but that's standard for most OLED laptop displays. So this is what the front-facing camera looks like. It is 1080p. It also has Windows Hello facial recognition, which I suggest you set up. It just makes logging into the laptop a lot easier because you don't have to attach the keyboard or use your fingers to type in the code. But let me know how the microphone sounds and let me know what you think of the actual webcam quality. Now, this is not going to be a cheap product, obviously, and I think you can get it with two different Intel processors. There's the i5 or the i7 1355U that I have here. Now, this model does have 16 gigabytes of RAM and a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD, and obviously it's using an Iris Xe integrated GPU. Performance on this is actually really good. I've only tested one other 1355U CPU and it completely destroyed it in multi-core performance and came fairly close in single-core performance. Now, you're not buying this to edit video all day. It's not meant for that. But if you're a photographer or a developer or someone who's just doing a lot of like light design work, then this laptop is going to be absolutely fine. If you're a day trader, you're going to love this thing. Like, you usually have 45 monitors in front of you, so you're going to be on the road with 2 displays. I think you're going to be pretty happy with that. It's a good laptop for those types of situations. Now look, if you are buying this, you know, it's not 100% quiet. The fans do go on when it's on best performance mode. You do hear them, but they're not loud, like 42, 43 decibels at the high end. And then when the fans are not going loud, you don't hear them at all. So that's always good. Heat management is also fantastic on this laptop. Like, yes, it can get a little warm on the bottom, but not once did I find it to be too hot. Even the CPU temps under full load are very respectable. But the only thing you can't really do with this laptop is upgrade it. I'm sure you can take off the bottom lid somehow. I'm not gonna try, because if I do, knowing me, because you know, I have butterfingers, I'll probably damage the display somehow. But yes, RAM is soldered onto the motherboard. I bet you the drive is upgradable, and you know, you're just not gonna be able to upgrade much inside of here. So if you are looking at this, my suggestion to you is to buy the SKU that will last you the longest, because upgrading this guy is not gonna be easy. Now, battery life was one area where I absolutely thought this thing was going to suck. Like 2.8K OLED displays, but it actually did really good. And I think the reason why is that there's an 80 watt hour battery inside of here. Most laptops this size usually have anywhere from a 60 to 70 watt hour battery. This is using a big 80 watt hour battery, and I got over 9 hours of use before needing to charge, which is really impressive for a dual screen laptop. So here's what you need to understand. If you're buying this, this is not a quick take out of my bag and let's use it. You know, it's not like a traditional laptop where you take it out, open it up, screen pops up, and you're typing right away. This has a process. It's like a little ceremony, right? You gotta take out the laptop, you gotta take out the pen if you want to, take out the keyboard, set up the stand, put the laptop on the stand, connect the keyboard, log yourself in, and then you're off to the races. Even if you're at a coffee shop and you're using dual screens, everyone's looking at it, right? Like, not only is this a very interesting piece, but you have 2 screens, it's just a lot easier to see what you're doing. Now again, you can use it as a normal laptop, and if you're gonna be using it as a normal laptop 99.9% of the time, then I think you should just get the regular Yoga 9i or another product instead, because this is not worth the extra price. But if you are loving the idea of always having 2 displays on you, and you don't mind the extra process, then this is a really cool product. Overall, I think Lenovo did a great job. It's obviously not perfect or for everybody, and yes, it's quite expensive, but I hope they continue this concept, because I think with a few more iterations, it's gonna be even more appealing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.